Ndinoda kuti nyika isiwe vanhu vangu inguva yedu hatingatadzi kubudirira Mwari ari parutivi pedu rambai muchirwa My hitters don't die, the real hitters gon' shine and my people gon' rise. That's my point to win it. I ain't saying
how the hell do I not have a deal? I swear this thing is a real dog. I play it fan off, the cowards so they can't feel. The wife try to console me like it's coming, baby, chill. She don't understand. I'm the only one that's real. I remember the third grade. Them kids, they had waves. I had them BDBs. You know that Zimbabwean grade. So they do shades. And your boy hit the stage, press play, and all the chicks was like, yeah. While boys was moving bricks, I was moving chips. Yeah. If she gave me calculus, gave her a mouthful of it. Heat rose to this thing, boy, I bet on myself.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday, and I'm in my home studio today, just dealing with a little stuffy nose. I'm fine. I'm all good, y'all, but I wanted to make sure that I keep it at home today, so I want to welcome you into my home studio. Of course, I'm excited. We're going to be going over some topics today. It is Wise Wednesday, so we need to hear from our guy, Brian Callanan, over at the Seattle channel on what's going down tonight on Seattle News, Views, and Brews, right here at 7 o'clock on Converge Media. So, of course, we'll kind of tap in with him. And then I'm excited because we have been out in the community. Converge continues to care and shine a light on these amazing Black-owned businesses right here in our community. So we get to share a couple of those with y'all today. But of course, it is the top of the show. So it's a great time for you to tag and share this stream right here. That's right. Go ahead, tag and share the stream, y'all, with folks you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on The Day with Trae. And if you can't watch us, don't worry, we got you covered. You can always listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae. Y'all will find me on Google, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Apple Music, whichever one is your favorite. You name it, search for us. Y'all will find us there. Well, if Brian and I were together, y'all know we will be diving deep into the topics that are going to be covered on tonight's episode of Seattle News, Views, and Brews. But let's hear what Brian had to say about what's going down tonight.
Hey, Trae. Good to be with you, and I'm sorry I can't be in the studio with you today, but we've got a lot of good things coming up on Seattle News, Views, and Brews tonight on Converge at 7 o'clock. One of the big things we're talking about is a new report from the Seattle Police Department about crime. And this is a big one because they put this report out just a short while ago. They actually reviewed it with the City Council's Public Safety Committee just yesterday. And this was a big deal because what they're talking about is a rise in crime, a general rise in crime, about 4% in between 2021 and 2022. However, the biggest part of it, I think, and a lot of people know this already, but violent crime is at a 15-year high. Shootings and shots fired are at an all-time high. So the council is looking at some different ways to really challenge our new police chief, our new permanent police chief, Adrian Diaz, to come up with some better solutions there. So this is going to be a constant process here. But looking at this benchmark report from the Seattle Police Department, that's a really big deal. And they want to make sure that they're focusing specifically on some neighborhoods where this is happening. The Chinatown ID saw a huge increase in shots fired. And also a lot of this activity is happening around homeless encampments. That's what the chief is saying. So it's a rather delicate balance there, trying to figure out, okay, we need to treat the problem of homelessness and make sure we're getting people the help they need. But how do we keep that criminal side of this equation out of the equation so they can make sure they're helping people and arresting the people who need to be arrested? Also, in terms of what we're talking about this week, we're talking about that social housing measure 135. It was on the ballot. A lot of people voted for it. As you saw in the early returns, more than 50% of people are voting for it. So it's got a good chance to pass here. And a lot of people in Seattle like voting for these types of initiatives. So we'll see where this goes. But we're talking about some of the ramifications of that and what's going on with that in terms of what that means for housing providers in our region. Still a bit of an unsettled picture right now because this is something that would establish a whole new public development authority. What does that look like? What does that mean for housing? It's not going to be something that's immediate. This is a process that's going to take years to get off the ground. So something to be aware of as you track that vote. with 135 over the next week or so. We're talking about a few other things at the state level too, but there is one issue that David brought up. He, of course, is the transportation reporter for the Seattle Times, and he's talking about the number of times that cars and trucks, vehicles actually crash into buildings in the Seattle area. It happened more than 100 times last year, so almost twice a week. And these are situations that can really damage buildings. They can cause injuries and deaths, but they're not really tracked all that well. It's an interesting story. David's got some details on that too, and we're bringing you the whole deal here on Seattle News, Views, and Brews. And we're very glad that you're able to help us with this podcast. If you can help out on Patreon, make sure you do that. It's Seattle News, Views, and Brews. Also, make sure you follow us. Check me out on Twitter at Callanan Seattle. Love to connect with you there. And Trae, I will see you soon. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure, Brian. And, these are the issues that I think so many of us care about. We need to know what's going on. Anytime that we can be informed and also inform our, representatives, our council members, folks that are representing us at various levels of government, it's important that we share our voices. So, of course, these issues are near and dear to my heart. When you're talking about social housing measure, people have to first understand what is a PDA, right? What is a public development authority? What do they do? How would they actually enact social housing? I think there's a lot of questions, but I'm excited to see that, folks are not allowing maybe a lack of information to deter them from saying, yes, if there's another way that we can, think about this housing crisis we have here, let's allow social housing to come in. So it's good to hear those early numbers on the vote. This is something that I do think is, prime for Seattle. Of course, where the housing goes is always going to be the question. We can never have more land, right? And so it's about repurposing in a lot of instances. But this is going to be exciting to see how this unfolds. I'm glad you and David are on that issue tonight. Also, when we talk about the rise in crime, this is something that is, for a lot of people, they're experiencing this. They're experiencing the rise in shootings and violent crimes. They're experiencing, family members being connected or being accosted. Like we're seeing it, like it, whether it's shootings and people are being murdered or killed, or it's, other issues around robberies. We're seeing just a lot of crimes around this kind of survivalist mentality too. So, as things become more and more expensive and less and less affordable all at the same time, it's one of those things where it's unfortunate that we see a lot of times in data will showcase certain spikes are due to other spikes in affordability just in general. But the fact that crimes are rising, this is going to be something Chief Diaz is going to really have to think about here in terms of what kind of approaches can the police take, what kind of approaches can community take. And when we were talking with Sade Smith just last week, she was dropping some statistics that were alarming. I mean, I had people reaching out to me after the show like, yo, I can't believe this. And we need Sade on more. And it's because we think ultimately maybe more police will mean less crime, and we're not seeing that correlation. So it's going to be interesting to see how Chief Diaz takes this information and what the police are going to do about it. But it also is one of those things where I always say, when we do invest in certain, strategies and approaches that we see working on the ground, we actually get to experience the benefits of all of that work from a community perspective. And a lot of times, community-based organizations work because they are from the communities they serve, right? They are, residents of that community. They have deep history in those communities. A lot of the executive directors that we see at a grassroots level, they come from the communities they serve. And so the credibility and the relationship that they have with community members by far exceeds what outside entities are able to attain. And this is why the solutions that are crafted from grassroots levels work, because the people are already engaged with that organization. There's relationship and there's trust that has been built. And so, we need to be scaling up these solutions. Some of the things that Sade was alluding to was that there is a need for reinvestment in community that really allows people to care for their community members in a holistic way, which will actually drive down crime. And this is not a notion that is new. Right? This is something that's being experienced in other parts of the world, and we need to catch up to that here in the States. So, glad you and David are on it tonight, Brian. As always, y'all, tune in tonight, 7 p.m., Seattle News, Views, and Brews. Make sure you are engaged in what's going on around your city. Well, after this short break, I'm excited. We're going to be sharing a couple of different business opportunities for y'all to become customers in. I can't wait. Stay tuned after this short break, y'all. You're watching The Day with Trae.
What's up, everybody? Trae Holiday here, and I'm so excited that Converge Media is doing a Black History Month takeover at the iconic Sankofa Theater. That's right, we're going to be looking back to look forward in this amazing space as we curate our own segments of Black history with our friends there at Sankofa Theater. Shout out to our partners, Friends of Waterfront Seattle, the Elite Collective, and the Vita Agency for joining us on this amazing journey. Of course, the whole Converge family is going to be in the building February 20th through the 24th. Y'all do not want to miss these segments. Join us and can't wait to see you there.
COVID-19 hurt my income, my health, and my family. We were about to lose our home when we heard we might be eligible for homeowner assistance funds from the government. We called 1-877-894-HOME. And a housing counselor stepped in, talked to our lender, and saved our home. Federal funding details at washingtonhalf.org. That's washingtonhaf.org.
This winter, Seattle Opera presents the world premiere of 1,000 Splendid Suns. Based on the best-selling novel by Khaled Hosseini, this new opera tells the breathtaking story of two Afghan women brought together under the brutal Taliban rule. There has never been a more important time for this story to be on stage. Make this world premiere part of your plans today. Don't miss 1,000 Splendid Suns, February 25th through March 11th at McCall Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
What's up, everybody? You know, me and Besa, my girl, we had to pull up to Market Street Shoes once again, y'all.
And you know, we do this every season. We have to get the new shoes, the new boots, and this time I even got a coat.
Yeah, no, you did walk in without a coat.
I really
I'm glad
did.
you found one. But their boots were on point.
Yes, the boots, the bags. I even grabbed a flannel.
Yeah, you did. You know, and I was able to get some hats and everything. I was really impressed.
And you know, I was impressed because, of course, I got those white boots that you guys see me wearing everywhere these days.
Yeah, no, I look at your white boots and I'm like, darn it, they only have one pair. Me and Basa wear the same size. Of course, every time we walk out with several bags in hand.
Several bags and sometimes even a backpack, you guys. Make sure you check out Market Street Shoes.
Yeah, please check them out. Where they go, Basa?
Ooh, 2232 Northwest Market Street, Seattle, Washington.
Welcome back, everybody, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Oh, my goodness. It's been so great to see all of these amazing segments come out. And, of course, utilizing this show to share and uplift these stories. We also have to make sure y'all don't forget about Washington Homeowner Assistance Fund. That's right. Washington Half is still giving out money to homeowners out there who are needing it right now. Make sure you guys call the hotline, 1-877-894-4663. Get that intake. You know, I checked it out. I wanted to go through the process, see what was necessary when it comes to, like, what does it look like? They only ask you some simple questions about, you know, hey, why are you delinquent? What does it look like? So I wanted to walk through the process to be able to share that with y'all. And trust and believe, I got with somebody who was so caring for me that they were like, no, look, I will be on the call with you as you have to make other calls. to gather some of the information they need. So when they talk about taking a very personalized approach, they do that holistically, 100%. You will get with a trusted resource who can really help guide you throughout the process. So if you are, one of those homeowners who find yourself really needing the assistance, they do cover, past due mortgage for those in condos, or if you have HOA fees, they could also cover that as well. Make sure y'all check out Washington Half. Well, I'm excited because, I got to enjoy this amazing restaurant before I was vegan. And I'm telling y'all, their barbecue is on point. Let's check out Lil Red's.
My name is Erasto Red Jackson, and hey, y'all, we're about to take y'all through Lil Red's Takeout and Catering. We are a barbecue restaurant. A lot of people drive by, they see the Jamaican flag in the window, but they also don't see the American flag. And what's more American than barbecue? But we also do Jamaican food here, some Jamaican food, and we also do some soul food here. So it's kind of a variety, but we are predominantly a barbecue restaurant. I started selling food out of the back of my station wagon and driving around to different barbershops, and it just grew from there. And then once a lot of the restaurants in the community started closing down, like Silver Fork and Miss Helen's and a few other restaurants, I'm like, well, we need food in the community. So I got an opportunity to open up my restaurant here in this building, and I took it. I always wanted to be that little hole in the wall in the city. When you travel, some of your best foods comes from those little hole in the wall restaurants. Community around here in the Rainier Valley and in Columbia City, the people that come in here, they support us very well. I feel like we put out a good product. I feel like we treat our customers right. And I mean, if you do things the right way, people are going to take care of you. I'm biased, I came up with a menu, so I think everything on my menu is a must-have. But people seem to like, as far as meats, they seem to love the oxtails. They seem to love the brisket and the burn-ins, ribs. Sides, they love the greens, the macaroni and cheese, the garlic mashed potatoes, the yams. You notice I'm going through the entire menu. So as I said, I'm pretty biased about everything that we put out because I cook everything with love. When you have homeless people in the community, they usually ask for money. I've never been one to give money, but who am I to have a restaurant and say that I can't feed you? So people know that they can come in here and they can just get a free plate of food whenever they're hungry. That's one thing that we're really proud of doing here, and we're going to continue to do that. In the food industry, people want to put a name and a face with the product that they're eating. Lil Red's is the name of my business. As you can see, I'm not the smallest guy in the world, so it's kind of a play on words. My wife's name is Lilith Anderson. We call her Lil. So that's where we get it from, Lil Red's. So being that we are a family business, in the community, it's important for me to be the family man that's in the community working and serving the people. I'm definitely seeing more and more black restaurants coming into the central and south end. I haven't had time to come out and try everybody yet, but that's definitely my goal. But the community needs us, and as far as culture and food and everything else. So it's good to see that everybody, is coming back and, feeding the community, so to speak. So make sure you come and check us out here at Lil Red's. We're at 4225 Rainier Avenue South in the old Mondo's Meats building, just north of the Rainier and Genesee.
Yes, shout out to Lil Reds. And, this is the story of so many of our beloved restaurants closing, and he and his family saying, okay, we need to step up into this void. I just love hearing that story. And oftentimes, if you travel up to any city in the world, you will find that there are small hole in the wall spots all over the place that are jam packed, either sometimes lines down the block, especially when they do some specials and everybody in the community knows. But, Little Reds is there for all of us. If you have not tried Little Reds, I promise you will not be disappointed. And I love how he said he was biased about everything because it all is good. I have tried the food, all of it, and so good. So if you are looking for that barbecue fix, I was crushed. Me and my entire family, when Home of Good Barbecue closed down, we were just like distraught, right? Because we grew up eating that. It was such a pillar of my childhood. And I was so excited when I tried Little Reds because the barbecue sauce is not the same as Home is Good, but it is very good in its own right. And I was like, all right, when I have my barbecue, cravings, I know where to go. It's Little Reds. So if you haven't been to Little Reds, make sure y'all hit them up. Go in there, say hi, let them know Converge sent you, and get some loving food from Little Reds. Also, y'all, we see that there's a wide variety of amazing businesses that are popping up. And as we work to get healthy, sometimes we need a juice to do that. I'm excited because Converge was also on the scene to check out Central Area Cafe. Check them out.
Hi, my name is Bridget Johnson. Welcome to the Central Cafe and Juice Bar. The Central Cafe and Juice Bar is all about bringing healthy, fresh, natural food to the Central area. We pride ourselves on serving our community, especially Garfield High School, which I am an alumni, and the Nova High School across the street. So we love having the students in during the week. We make everything from scratch from the Central Cafe here. Like today, we have a seafood jambalaya, non-pork, just beef, chicken, and shrimp. And we make all of our soup, our sandwiches, fresh every day. And that's what I believe healthy food is, making it from scratch, not all the preservatives. There's a need for more options. I don't feel that there's a lot of restaurants in the area that serves, the students' lunch items. And so going to Garfield, all we could do is eat in the lunchroom. And we didn't get to go off campus and go sit at a different coffee shop. And so when I decided where I wanted my business, I live in the Central area. I wanted to be able to walk to work, and I wanted to be able to give those choices to the students so that they could come in here, eat, enjoy a great meal, and go on back to school. We opened right during the pandemic. 1 month into the pandemic, we opened our door. But I always say it was a blessing. It was a blessing because people were stuck inside. We remained open because we had our to-go window put in, and people didn't have that many choices that were open, so they had to give us a chance. And then they realized they loved us. So I built my, following from the pandemic, and they've remained with us because we've been consistent in staying open and offering them the things that they wanted. My thing about being positive is I try to share that with the community. I want them to come in and feel the warmth, feel that we care, feel that we know them by name. I want them to know us by name. You talk to people, see what kind of things, they're into. And we've done school drives with the backpacks. We know the community is hurting out here. Everybody's going through a hard time, and we're just trying to figure out how we can help, how we can facilitate, like getting the backpacks, working with other organizations, getting donations. Make bread pudding, different flavor every week, which is, if you haven't had bread pudding, you don't know what's happening, okay? And I would say in our smoothies, I would say the carrot in paradise. It's the only one with a vegetable being the juice instead of a fruit juice. It's very delicious. And my new drink, I'm turning it all around, it's called the Lavish Lavender espresso, and it is so delicious. I want people to know that they could come in here and be welcomed and find something delicious. And like I say, we're all about positivity. That's why you see my quote board that changes on, how we're feeling monthly, but we want to put that out there. Your thoughts create your destiny. And so you have to have those positive thoughts, especially with all the negativity going on, in the world right now, you have to have a positive spot.
You most definitely have to have a positive spot. And I love that Central Cafe is right there. I have been there many times, held meetings there, met friends there. It is one of those go-to spots. And I wish it was there when I was at Garfield, because I sure would have been walking right over there to get me a fresh juice and a sandwich. I love that they also have vegan options. Y'all know now, y'all are hearing it from me all the time. But when a place really does say, look, we have to open up our menu items, we want to make sure that we have something for everyone here. Central Cafe does that. And the juices, sandwiches, everything is good. Everything I've had there is very good. So I might have to be there to try the lavish lavender cafe. It sounds like the latte. I might have to try that out and see if that's something that suits my palate. But of course, these are just opportunities for y'all to now know about these amazing spaces. If you haven't ever been to Central Cafe, go check them out right there on Cherry, y'all. It is a great vibe, great energy. It's an amazing location, and kudos to them and their entire team for sticking it out through the pandemic, and for y'all that have been the patrons of this business, to help support them during the pandemic and until now. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to hear that story of how they were able to build relationships with folks during the pandemic. And she is so right. So many places were shut down. And so I love hearing that they stayed open. They stayed, committed to providing great quality products for the community. And it's a beautiful place to go visit. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure y'all do. That's 2 spots for y'all today. Y'all got Little Reds in South Seattle. You got Central Cafe right there in the CD. Go check out these amazing businesses, become a customer, become a friend, right? That's what these spaces are. They remind me of all of the spaces we had in the Central District in South End during my childhood, the places that I knew I could go. My parents and my grandmother, everybody knew the owners. They knew what was going on. They knew the stories. That's because we stayed connected, and relationships are so key. So not only can you become a customer of these spaces, but become a friend of these spaces and share them. When you have people coming into town, hey, go to Little Reds. Hey, go to Central Cafe. Try some local options to keep these businesses thriving. Well, I get to wrap up all this beautiful nature right after this short break, y'all. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
What up, y'all? T-Dub here, as always, bringing you the news and art planning and opportunities. This year's For Culture Project grants are live now, and here's what you need to know to apply. For Culture Project grants fund cultural activities and projects throughout King County. If you are an individual or group with arts, heritage, or preservation at its core, then this funding is for you. And if you're new to the grant application process, For Culture hosts virtual workshops and has a team of grant managers ready to assist you in the process. The deadline to apply is March 23rd. Head over to forculture.org for more.
What's up, everybody? Trae Holiday here, and I'm so excited that Converge Media is doing a Black History Month takeover at the iconic Sankofa Theater. That's right, we're going to be looking back to look forward in this amazing space as we curate our own segments of Black history with our friends there at Sankofa Theater. Shout out to our partners, Friends of Waterfront Seattle, the Elite Collective, and the Vita Agency for joining us on this amazing journey. Of course, the whole Converge family is going to be in the building February 20th through the 24th. Y'all do not want to miss these segments. Join us and can't wait to see you there. everybody? You know, me and Besa, my girl, we had to pull up to Market Street Shoes once again, y'all.
And you know, we do this every season. We have to get the new shoes, the new boots, and this time I even got a coat.
Yeah, no, you did walk in without a coat.
I really
I'm glad
did.
you found one. But their boots were on point.
Yes, the boots, the bags. I even grabbed a flannel.
Yeah, you did. You know, and I was able to get some hats and everything. I was really impressed.
And you know, I was impressed because, of course, I got those white boots that you guys see me wearing everywhere these days.
Yeah, no, I look at your white boots and I'm like, darn it, they only had one pair. Me and Basa wear the same size. Of course, every time we walk out with several bags in hand.
Several bags and sometimes even a backpack, you guys. Make sure you check out Market Street Shoes.
Yeah, please check them out. Where they go, Basa?
Ooh, 2232 Northwest Market Street, Seattle, Washington.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to thank y'all for rocking with me in my home studio today. I am so grateful for the work of this team here at Converge, being on the ground to help spotlight and share these amazing businesses. And of course, their opportunities for us to be engaged in our community and be supporters, be patrons, be customers, become friends, build relationships, all the things at these amazing spaces in our community. And of course, the stories of both Central Cafe and Little Reds are inspiring. Make sure y'all go check out Little Reds and Central Cafe, become a patron and a customer. But the thing is be inspired by their story as well. Of course, I'm inspired. I want y'all to be inspired to figure out the ways for you to see yourself as a part of the solution, as Central Cafe and Little Reds has done. And for me, y'all, until tomorrow at 11 a.m., peace.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.